Hey everybody, Steve Harrison here, and with me is Charles Chadwick. Charles actually attracted a lot of media interest at my National Publicity Summit because he has a very straightforward, simple way of solving the student loan crisis. And I want to welcome him. Charles, glad to have you.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
You know, you've got a book with a provocative title and graphic. You're the pastor of the student loan disaster. Why have you titled your book that?
I've titled it because it's somewhat of my truth. Pastors are no different than coaches. A good coach is going to lead his team to victory, but I feel that student loans has been a disaster. If you don't believe me, just look at the news and article. But I don't have a solution, but I have a different perspective on it. So that's why I am the pastor of the student loan disaster.
That's awesome. Talk a little bit about what you suggest students and families do. I know that you're often talking about how they're just not looking at it the right way.
Oh yeah, I like to rhyme. So here we go. You don't have to be in the disaster because it can be solved sometimes with a hammer. And what am I talking about? The trade industry. Steve, it's no secret. I have 2 college degrees. I paid all my loans back, and I actually cut my college costs by 40%. But guess what? I was more successful with the trade industry, and I learned that for free. And my philosophy is simple. Some people can go to college and get in a lifetime worth of debt and bills, but if they'll stop overlooking the trade industry, guess what? They could be getting a lifetime worth of skills.
Yeah, and it's not taught and it's not emphasized like it was years ago.
Exactly. And I'll tell you something else, Steve. The one thing that they have taken out United States high school, I actually was blessed to have it, and it's the trade industry. It's a tool. My dad was a licensed plumber. He taught it to me, even though it wasn't offered at my high school. And because I learned that skill set, I was able to pay back my student loan debt. And as simple as that.
Now, what do you say to people who say, hey, you know, I'm gone to college, I have that debt. Is it too late to change? Is there something they can do about it?
My philosophy is this: when you learn a trade on your first day with no experience, you're going to start making money and getting paid. With the trade industry, you're learning that trade. And the longer you stay in a trade, the more money there is to be made because you will become the expert.
And so take me a little bit into your story about when did you know it was time for you to start sharing this message?
Unfortunately, I don't like using the word, but during, the little pandemic or whatever, I just saw these news stories and I got tired of seeing them, talking about student loans, and it made me self-examine myself. And I said, well, why come I'm not struggling with my student loans? And I guess it's because the trade industry has always been my backbone. And the trades, they survive during hard economical times. And even with gas prices high, whatever, global warming, people are always going to stay cool. So therefore, go to HVAC and take a break from school and you'll make all the money you want. The trades are here. And I think we kind of forgot about the backbone.
You talked about debt and financially, learn a trade and you can get paid a lot more money right away than working in a retail job or something like that. Beyond the money, what are some of the other benefits of working in the trades?
Steve, I'll tell you, with my dad teaching me plumbing, I've helped out family members. Maybe somebody has a grandmother. If you know carpentry and the floor is rotten, you could replace that floor and keep your grandmother safe. Also, for any married couples or boyfriend or girlfriend, I also welcome women into the trade industry. You'll be able to put a smile on somebody's face. I couldn't tell you the numerous jobs where people didn't have money, but I was able, out the kindness of my heart, to fix something, and that brings joy. That brings joy to people. And I think with the trades, it's been labeled as blue collar. And a lot of people, I was taught to work smarter, not harder. And I thought, I have the college degree. I said, hey, I'm gonna sit in this office job and not do the back-breaking work. But again, I'm a man who likes to rhyme. If you want to get something done, you just can't use a college degree. You got to use your hands and feet. And that's where the trade industry has really helped.
I love it. I love it. So what are some of the benefits of the book? Why should people get the book? What are they going to learn? What are they going to get out of it?
One important thing that they're really going to get out of it, Steve, is they're going to see the facts. I haven't seen too many articles that's telling the facts, and this might be why it's such a struggle for student loans to be forgiven. The number one person who financed these student loans was our government. So therefore, I feel it's more of a challenge. I showed that the number one asset for certain years is student loans as a nation. The student loans is an asset, and it's going to be hard to forgive that. And if they were to forgive student loans, what would the government replace that big portion of the chart of assets as a nation? Are they going to tax people or whatever? So I give a little bit more facts. I also talk about the trade industry, how it even helped me cut my college costs. You're also going to see a lot of comedy. For example, Sermon 1, it says, from righteous to ruinous, the student loan crisis. People are excited. I'm going to college. I get the student loans. But after the 4 years, you graduate, they're jumping in the cap and gown. But then when the payments come, the smile turns into a frown. So I put a little spin on it. It's comedy. It's my truth. And I just want people to know that it's not over. The one thing that was taken out of high schools is actually a tool, and that's the trade industry.
I love it. Now you're getting me to think of rhyme. You need a tool. Don't be a fool. So anyway, we should end before I try to be you, man. Well, listen, great job. It was just great to see you get so many interviews with the media, and this is such a pressing problem. You've got a great story, great advice. Where can people get the book?
They can get it on Amazon. And again, you can type in the main subtitle, The Pastor of the Student Loan Disaster. Also on the book cover, on the word of disaster, students are literally holding on for their life. But on the pastor's shoulder is me and other successful people. So again, what's more important now as we see the debt crisis? Is it better to get into college debt? I don't know, but my philosophy is before you get into college debt, learn you a skill set, because paying back that loan is the real test.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, thanks for joining me.